We live in a day and age where we think a little bit extra about our environment. Climate change, global warming, environmental sustainability. Now, these are things that are usually in our vocabulary, and that was the update that we've gotten over the past couple of years. A couple of years ago, this would have been a different case, but now we think about ourselves, the people around us, our planet, and the overall sustainability. From that aspect, if you are to think about an investment option, what could you really think about? Well, if you're a person who has a bit of an inkling towards making better for our planet, you are watching the exact correct video that you should be right now. I am here to have a conversation with an individual who will tell you all about commercial forestry. We are currently here at Sadaharitha Plantations Limited to have a conversation and to understand what exactly commercial forestry is and what sort of other avenues can you as a consumer, you as an investor could bound upon. I'm currently in conversation with a representative from the wonderful company that is Sadaharitha Plantations Limited. We actually have Mr. Jayampathy Mirando, the Director Sales and International Marketing for Sadaharitha Plantations Private Limited. Hello sir, welcome to the show. Now, as I mentioned earlier on at the start of it, now, impact to the planet is something not a lot of people really considered about, let's say a decade ago. What people would assume and would look forward to would be their own profits, their benefits, and their own companies or themselves sustainability. But now, luckily, we are in a day and age where all of these things have actually turned upon themselves. We understand the importance and the real reason as to why we as human beings should protect our planet. In a day and age like this, your company has actually come up with a sort of a concept called commercial forestry. Now, this is quite new to Sri Lanka, I would say. Maybe this company existed in 2002. We founded in 2002. But this particular set of words, these keywords, may not sound very familiar to the layman in Sri Lanka. So, in that sense, could you elaborate on this term? What exactly is commercial forestry management?
Well, Saravi, when I joined this company 14 years ago, even that was new to me. The commercial thing struck me only after I joined Sadaharitha. But when you say forestry, yes, from our school days also. When you say forestry, which comes in our mind, first is Singaraja.
Yeah.
Forest we have in Sri Lanka. And well, forests are there. They are natural. And I know there are like forest department and various other organizations. They are there to protect them. But I wonder whether they grow forests. Not heard. And but with commercial forestry, totally different. In commercial forestry, we have commercialized forest. When you commercialize forestry or anything, there are benefits derived by the investors or the rest of the people. So when you get benefits out of growing forest, you get benefit. Rather, you not monetary benefits alone. There are various other benefits, as you said earlier. End of the day, you protect the environment. And do you know what the forestry coverage in Sri Lanka today? Probably not. I don't know. Most of us don't know. It's around 23%. But really, we need at least minimum of 34% forestry coverage. There's a huge gap. So we are directly involved in bridging this gap with our customer base of around 47,000. And when this comes, people derive benefits out of by investing in commercial forestry. So not only derive benefits of monetary, as I said earlier, and you are helping, contributing towards the environment of this country. I mean, it's a hidden benefit, which you can be proud of it one day.
Definitely.
Well, I have done my
Part for the country.
part for the country, of course. Yes.
And I think since we stem from a quite rich country in natural resources, I think before this discussion, we had a previous discussion, we were talking about Sri Lanka is such a country with so much natural resources inbuilt. We have so much flora and fauna to go around, so much of produce that we can sustain upon. And while investing in such concepts like you mentioned, sir, I think we have that feel-good factor as well. But then again, we always think about the monetary benefits or other sorts of holistic benefits that one could have when it comes to investing. So when it comes to Sadaharitha Plantations Private Limited, if an investor was to come through, what sort of benefits would they have in comparison to the normal banking savings system?
Yeah, basically, the benefits in the commercial forestry is always higher than the normal banking and the financial sector in Sri Lanka, comparatively higher, because the products we have selected have a demand in the world market or the local market. Just to name a few, teak, sandalwood, agave, all of them have a good market price. So as a result, we are able to offer part of our profits to our investors. So in turn, they get a higher percentage of profits.
So,
I always like to name it as profits rather than interest. We are not a financial
national
organization.
So with the profit element, yes, so we might have a higher rate in comparison to the banking sector, but then a lot of people usually think if they come up with a concept that they're not very familiar with, is the risk factor. Now, when it comes to commercial forestry management, there's a bit of say a misconception in the market to say that there's a lot of companies that boom up. They say they are here for commercial forestry management, and all of a sudden they're nowhere to be found. So they come into the market, the sooner they come, the sooner they exit. So, what sort of credibility could you, sir, have for any investor, any potential investor who's looking forward to investing with Sadaharitha Plantations?
Well, I'll start with the assets we have. Plantations. We have over 8,000 acres, local and overseas plantations. That is starting from mahogany, rambutan, teak, sandalwood, agave, and also oil palm and vanilla. So totally diversified, We are not sticking to one product or one species. So as a result, the risk factor is very much less. And if you look at our plantations, we have 68 plantations spread all over Sri Lanka, mostly in the low country wet zone. That's fog out, that's the most suitable climatic conditions. But of course, and teak, of course, we have in the dry zone, that's no issue. So that's one aspect of it. And on the other hand, we basically, now, for example, we have 5,000 acres in Madagascar, vanilla and oil palm plantation. Why we decided to go away from Sri Lanka was we had an economic issue a couple of years back. That's not a secret, all of us know. And we are not out of it as yet. Lot more years to go. We are in debt to the world. Sometimes my children, my grandchildren will have to pay that, whether they like it or not. So that is the time we decided, no, we can't take a risk. We have to minimize our risk. Let's go out of Sri Lanka. Because we have the expertise in plantation, agriculture. So in the same industry, we decided to buy a huge land in Madagascar and started growing vanilla and oil palm. So there again, we didn't stop at that. Now, for example, I don't know whether you know, we have a project in Malaysia. What do we there is to sell our technology. In Malaysia, there are about 30 million trees, agave trees, and 18 million are registered. But they failed in their technology. There are trees about 15, 20 years old trees. So we have started a company over there, and we want to sell our technology in Malaysia to form agave in their trees. That's another aspect of diversification. So we always two things in mind. That is, one thing, diversification. Number two is minimizing risk to the lowest point. So we are 100% sure that one fine day, when my 47,000 customers demand for their benefits according to their agreements, we are prepared to give them benefits, even a cent more than what they expect.
From what you said, sir, what I realized was the company values a lot of risk reduction, like you mentioned. adaptability, since you mentioned that you moved away from Sri Lanka to Madagascar from everything, the turmoil that was going on in Sri Lanka, and that the company views diversification in a very positive light. Now, with all of this going on, sir, now just to add to the credibility of the company was founded in 2002, which brings it to about 22 years in trading. So I think if you are an investor, potential investor who wants to come through, I think that's much more of a good hint to say that the company is here to stay and is quite sustainable as a company. Now, diving into your subject of expertise, sir, since you are from a sales and marketing background and you are the director of sales and international marketing, what sort of a marketing sort of theme have you put forward for the company? Because when it comes to plantations, or in your own keywords that we used, commercial forestry management, the ones who know how important and incredible this form of investment is, but the newer generations, such as myself, might be a bit baffled by this set of terms. How do you exactly cater your marketing strategies for all consumers, since it's a niche market as well?
Well, sometimes it's like this. Initially, out of the marketing mix, I only used personal selling. Because I thought for this particular product, investment product, that is the best way, personal selling. But as we go on, now a lot of companies have come up. And I thought this high time to create awareness among the general public about this concept, this industry, how we are going to pay them back, what plans those companies have, what their asset base, because otherwise we can't protect the general public from scammers. Very blunt, but can't help it.
Yeah.
So that is why we are embarked into a campaign this couple of weeks back. That's very important. As I said earlier, our diversifications to our risk minimizing efforts, people are free to invest in any organization, whether it's commercial, financial, or otherwise. But always they must be very careful when they invest their hard-earned money to make sure that they invest in the correct place, with the correct background, with the correct expertise. So my marketing strategy evolved in and around those factors.
Like you said, so now a lot of people are inclined to go ahead with investments that promise higher returns at the shortest time possible. But when it comes to the actuality of it, if you really sit down and study the details, you realize that is almost impossible to do. And in this specifically, in this trade, in this specific field of trade, it's quite difficult to get the return as quickly as some companies might promise to you. And that is why we are also having this conversation with Mr. Ampathy to sort of understand what can you really get out of this? What are the details that you are supposed to know? And that is why the campaigns done by Sadaharitha Private Limited are also highlighting those key factors. Now, for those of our audience members that would love to invest with the company, who are fascinated by this concept of commercial forestry management, what sort of future plans did Sadaharitha Private Limited have?
Well, Sanvi, this part of our plans, future plans. We want to become the leader in perfume industry. One fine day, not in the immediate future. Worldwide, we want to establish a worldwide brand. Our brand is Sioverde. The meaning of Sioverde, it's a Latin word, is evergreen, Sadaharitha. So this we are marketing. Actually, we have a model outlet at One Golf Face, Wood Galleria, and they're fairly expensive. Wood based. We have various fragrances, but it sells even in Sri Lanka. Sri Lanka is rich. I'm telling you. Let's come to One Golf Face with me. Let's sit and wait for 1 hour. Then how you will observe how many bottles are being sold. They are within an hour with those expensive perfumes. There is a market. But overseas, of course, a huge market there. Because particularly in the Gulf region, they love wood, agave. So that's one aspect of it. I mean, that's the main aim or the objective we have to enter into the perfume industry in the world. And we have taken steps already. We have 2 outlets in Qatar. We are opening up really 4 outlets in Saudi, and we also have joined hands with another investor in Saudi uh, to open up something like 400 outlets, a chain, to sell our perfumes. And we are encouraging other countries as well. Even in UK, we have certain interest to sell our perfumes. Not only in the Gulf, even Europe, for that matter. So those are the future plans we have. But along with that, we look at opportunities what are available anywhere in the world, not only Sri Lanka or Madagascar or everywhere. So, I mean, in fact, we have opened up a warehousing complex in Dubai recently. That's to send stuff from Madagascar to Dubai to sell it overseas. Things like cloves, pink pepper, you know, that's a trading.
Yeah.
Well, of course, Dubai is a trading hub, like in Singapore. So we make use of every opportunity available so that I'm 100% sure that I can pay back the benefits our customers deserve
Definitely.
at the end of the period.
I think it's all about the big picture, I suppose. Like, as a company, since we're supposed to go through with giving that final end result or the benefit that the customers so dearly want to reap, it is important that the company that you're investing in is also aligned with the same objectives, with risk-free diversification and such and such. Now, speaking of this diversification, Sadaharitha very recently started off this agar wood plantation. So you also mentioned, sir, even when it comes to the perfume markets such as Madagascar and many other global spaces, prefer this agar wood. So what exactly is agar wood and why 2024? I mean, we came from economic turmoils to COVID. Since you, of course, as a company, the way I see it, know exactly when to hammer the nail. Why 2024? Why agar wood?
Well, Sanvi, this was raised to me even before 2024 about the factory you mean.
Yeah.
So why are you waiting so long to open up a Agavu factory? Even after the opening of the factory, many people raised this question from me. I gave them a good example. I would like to put the same example with you. In many channels, I said this. Okay, you propose to me, let's open up a whiskey factory in Sri Lanka, more whiskey factory. Very good. I mean, we consume a lot of alcohol as a country, and all males will love that idea. No problem, we can get place, we can open up a factory, we can get machinery down, do all that. But where are the mall to feed this factory? Likewise, earlier, if we had opened this factory, we don't have trees to feed. Now our trees are well grown. Most of them are inoculated. So we can have a regular supply of trees to this factory now. Not only this factory, as we go on, maybe about now a couple of more factories. So that is why we waited for the moment.
So the
To open
right
up.
decisions at the right time.
Exactly.
All right. Speaking of decisions, well-made decisions made by Sadaharitha Private Limited, there's one more decision that you have made that I'm quite excited to hear about. So there's this mega project that Sadaharitha Private Limited or Sadaharitha Plantations Private Limited started up in Malaysia. Could we please know about what this project is and how it's doing so far?
I gave a briefing a little while ago about this project. Well, it's like this. As I said earlier, a little while ago, if we see an opportunity anywhere, we grab it. We just grab it. We saw that opportunity in Malaysia. So why not? We have the expertise, we have the correct inoculum, we have the best inoculation method. So why not we practice that in another country? Do we have to stick to Sri Lanka always? No. When the opportunities are there, might as well take them, grab them. Because once, end of the day, you are bringing foreign currency into Sri Lanka. When you have your foreign, your operation in foreign countries. And that is what we needed today. Foreign currency to the country. So we are doing that. I'm proud. You know? So we always grab that opportunity. Wherever there is an opportunity, we grab it.
I think that is quite a easy blanket for the investors to sort of sleep in also. To know that the company that you have invested in is ensuring that your investment is in safe hands. Like I mentioned also, if they find an opportunity, they'll grab it, ensure that you as an investor gain the return of it at the end of your payback period. I think that was quite a fruitful conversation. I learned a lot as well. And then I hope that you, if you are an investor, a potential investor, you got all of your questions answered for and understood the concept behind Sadaharitha Plantations Private Limited. If you're also a buyer of Sadaharitha Plantations Private Limited, where we discussed about the product range as well, their expansions and their future plans. So we hope that you will be staying in tune with them and us as well to sort of see the journey that happens with Sadaharitha Plantations Private Limited. Once again, thank you so much to Mr. Jampati Miranda, the Director Sales and International Marketing here at
Thank you,
Sadaharitha
Sari, for the
Plantations.
lovely conversation.
No worries at all.